Have the people of Makerfield saved Britain or have they doomed us?
Well, they've doomed us to another Labour Prime Minister. Burnham basically stood on the Get Starmer Out platform. Starmer supporters are going to make sure that Streeting enters the race, and then you have a three-way fight. Improves Starmer's chances of winning.
Across the country, people are a bit annoyed and they see Andy Burnham as he's just a career politician.
He's in it for himself. It's a stepping stone to number 10. That's what he really wants. Ed Miliband is heavily involved with Andy Burnham. The thinking is that he could become Andy Burnham's Chancellor.
If you were going to put some money on who's going to be in number 10 at the start of the next general election, who would you say?
Well, I think...
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Daily Expresso, an emergency episode. The Makerfield Byelection has gone down, and I'm joined by Martyn Brown. Martyn, have the people of Makerfield saved Britain or have they doomed us? Andy Burnham has won. What's going to happen now?
Well, they've doomed us to another Labour Prime Minister, whether that's still going to be Keir Starmer or Andy Burnham. Mm-hmm. Don't quite know yet, but it looks like it's going to be Mr. Burnham after a resounding victory.
Mm-hmm. Well, he won Makerfield with a whopping majority. He had a great turnout. What's the timeline now for Burnham in terms of we presume he's going to try and become leader of the Labour Party. What is the timeline? What's he got to do next? How many MPs have got to back him, etc., etc.?
Well, I think, strangely, I think you might have a bit of a lull this weekend, kind of 72 hours, while Keir Starmer frantically rings round his cabinet, sees who's on his side, see if any of them are going to be supporting him. No one tends to resign over the weekend anyway, so you're going to have this lull. There's talk that him and Burnham will have a phone call, maybe thrash something out. But I think the gloves are going to come off on Monday, and then we'll really see where we're at. And then you could get a whole load of resignations.
Okay. Now, he's going to fight it, right? He's not just going to roll over. This is going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, that's what he says. I mean, even just 5 minutes ago, he's just said, I'm going to fight this. If there's a leadership election, I'm going to fight it. I'm not going anywhere. I was elected with a mandate to do the job, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what he's saying.
Listen, I'm not a fan of Starmer at all, but I'm quite impressed with his rhetoric. He seems to have found a backbone, finally, because he's being challenged for leadership. He's coming out swinging. This is good.
It's weird. Like, you're right. In the last couple of weeks, suddenly he's smiling more. It's like someone's pressed the smile button on his back. He's there's kind of vibes that are coming out that he's this stubborn guy, he's stubborn on the football pitch, he's stubborn in real life, and now he's showing that he's politically stubborn, and he might stick around, and he's saying that he's going to stick around and fight Burnham if it comes to it.
So who else is going to be running against Burnham for number 10 if he puts in his hat in the ring?
Well, I mean, there's a whole load of scenarios of what could happen, but if there's a straight up leadership election, then you would think Wes Streeting is going to throw his hat in the ring. And actually, I've just heard this morning that there's some suggestions that Starmer supporters are going to make sure that Streeting enters the race, get him over the 81 MPs needed to run, and then you have a three-way fight, and then it makes improves Starmer's chances of winning if there's a three-way fight.
That is sly but pure politics.
There's going to be some proper skullduggery going on if that happens, and promises of future jobs maybe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He knows that he's not going to beat Burnham in a straight one-on-one fight, but if you get others involved, then it becomes messy, and he could win that.
Do we have any idea of who Burnham's going to put in his cabinet? Any of the top jobs?
Well, yes and no. I mean, there's always been strong talk that Ed Miliband is. Ed Miliband is heavily involved with Andy Burnham, and there's again rumours that he could quit next week. And the thinking is that he could become Andy Burnham's Chancellor.
Surely the country would be truly doomed then. If Miliband was our Chancellor, the markets are going to react, and hopefully that would be enough to keep him from power.
Well, I mean, it would be Burnham's choice, but you only have to look at his net zero policies and all that to see what kind of route he'd take the country down if he was Chancellor.
Yeah.
And then you've got people like Angela Rayner. Remember, they had that kind of secret meeting a few weeks ago. Seems like a lifetime ago now, but she would surely she'll surely come back in some shape or form, be given a job, and you've got Lisa Nandy, who's an MP in that region as well, near Makerfield. She's very close to Burnham. She's in the cabinet now, but I would suspect she would get a job. And what do you do with Wes Streeting? Do you give him a job? And then
keep your enemies close.
Louise Haigh as well is a big supporter of Andy Burnham, and she was the former Transport Secretary who got sacked over her mobile phone issues, and I'm sure she will make a comeback as well.
Do you think Andy Burnham actually has a plan, whether it's a secret plan or maybe he's been telling you journalists about it? Does he have a plan for this country? Because I think he's been very busy. He's supposed to be mayor of Manchester. Then he's trying to get into Gordon and Denton. Now he's been trying to get into Makerfield and he's succeeded. At what point has he had time to actually formulate a proper plan for this country?
I don't think he has got a plan. He's indicated that he probably wants this to go until September and take over then. So he's got the summer to formulate a plan, get a team together, figure out what he's going to do. I mean, we know certain things about Burnham, what he thinks on the EU, and some issues that have come up during the by-election, but we have no idea what his foreign policy, where he stands on foreign policy, economic as well. We know nothing about that, and these are huge, major issues that he needs to figure out himself before he can kind of portray that to the country.
Now, if you're a gambling man, and actually I've heard that Martyn is a gambling man. Apparently you're banned in every casino in Vegas, Martyn.
I'm not a very good gambling man, but I enjoy a flutter now every now and again.
If you're going to put some money on who's going to be in number 10 at the start of the next general election, who would you say?
Andy Burnham.
Oh, okay, that worries me. And I trust your political nous, so I think it is going to be Andy Burnham, and that does worry me for the country.
You may well trust my political nous, but I am legendarily bad at punting and betting, so the complete opposite will happen. But
okay.
No, I would put money on Andy Burnham.
Let's move on to Reform and Farage. Okay, they lost, but I think they still did pretty well in Makerfield. But what does this loss mean for them? Let's make no bones about it. It was a big loss. I think they were expecting to do a bit better than they did. Okay.
Probably just goes to show a number of things, really, that they still haven't probably quite got the machinery or the data that you need to do these one-off by-elections where you've really got to target voters. They did throw the kitchen sink at it. And I think the other thing is that it was Andy Burnham. He's very popular in the north, in Manchester area. He was an MP for years in the neighbouring constituency, and he's from the area. So it was a tough ask for Reform. And there's also that Burnham basically stood on the Get Starmer Out platform, or that's what voters voted for him for. They want Starmer out, so they voted Burnham in. And that's, ironically, that's the platform that Reform stood on during the locals just a month or so ago. Vote for Reform, Get Starmer out. And it's Starmer is the thing. So Reform will be disappointed. Nigel Farage has been out on X this morning and he's going, we fight on. But that's Reform's problem. It's a lot of tactical voting works against them in these one-off by-elections.
Will this be likely to be repeated in the next general election, you think, with tactical voting?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you get certain situations where the Reform are polling about 25%, and if the public don't want Reform to win, then they'll vote for other parties just to stop Reform.
Okay.
So Reform have got to figure out how to stop that. They're still on polling. They're still the number one party. They're still at the centre of political gravity in the UK at the moment, and they really change the dynamics, but they've got to figure out a way to win these by-elections and stop tactical voting.
This by-election got a bit nasty, especially between Reform and Restore. I saw a picture yesterday of the Reform bus, and behind it was a minivan that said on the side of it, Muslims for Reform. And Rupert Lowe said it was nothing to do with Restore. This wasn't their stunt. I'm not sure who did it. But it seemed that politics in Makerfield, but particularly between those two parties, became quite nasty.
Yeah, there's no love lost between Restore and Reform, Nigel and Rupert Lowe. They had a big falling out last year, and that just continues to rumble on. I had an exclusive story yesterday in yesterday's Daily Express, where Nigel Farage has accused Restore of being like the National Front back in the 1970s and 80s.
Wow.
And I mean, he was talking about some fringe figures around Rupert Lowe and the party, and some of the comments that they're making. So yeah, they despise each other, and they're at risk of tearing each other apart. If Rupert Lowe says Restore are going to field 500 plus candidates at the next general election, and that's going to hurt Reform.
Are you looking for ways to protect your wealth in these uncertain times? Well, might I suggest you check out the Pure Gold Company. The Pure Gold Company was voted the UK's best gold broker. They are leading specialists in physical gold and silver. So whether you're planning for the future, diversifying your portfolio, or simply want the security of owning real precious metals, their expert team can help guide you every step of the way. Gold coins minted by the Royal Mint are free of VAT and capital gains tax in the UK, and you can see it, touch it, hold it, store it under your bed if you want to. Visit the Pure Gold Company today and tell them JJ sent you. Well, I mean, those words from Farage there, that they are like the National Front, Restore. I don't know about that, but Restore did well in Makerfield. I say did well. For their first ever by-election, they got 6.8% of the vote. And I think it was in 2021, the British National Party got a similar amount of percentage votes back there as well. So there's a thought that perhaps some of those BNP voters have flocked to Restore, which then furthers supports Farage's, I don't want to say analysis, but Farage's contempt for Restore and their supporters.
Yeah, and he was saying that, back in the 1970s and 80s, National Front were polling very high in certain by-elections and things like that, but Margaret Thatcher found a way to stamp that out, and he said, I'm going to do a similar thing. But in this day and age with split, fragmented politics, where a couple of percentage points really, really matter, then Restore, I think, are going to be a big thorn in his side. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Thatcher, one of our greatest ever prime ministers, but can Kemi Badenoch do the same? So I find this astonishing. The Tories and the Lib Dems lost their deposits at this vote. The Greens lost their deposit as well, but who cares about the Greens? They were never going to do much, I don't think. Are the Tories and Lib Dems toast when it comes to the next general election?
Absolutely not, no. I think the Tories didn't fight Makerfield, but coincidentally they've won Aberdeen South.
Yeah.
So that is actually the big winners of the night, I think, are the Tories, because Reform didn't win in Makerfield, and they won Aberdeen South. And it was a kind of a masterclass in how to win a by-election. They made it a referendum on the North Sea oil and gas, and really focused on that. Kemi Badenoch has been up several times to Aberdeen South, and her popularity is booming nationwide. She's seen as the most popular party leader, and that they really focused on it and turned it around. I mean, they have won that seat in the past, but I actually think the Tories were probably the happiest of all parties.
Wow.
And the Lib Dems, it was a bad result for them. I think it's the worst by-election result ever for them. But it's not really their area, and I'm sure they'll come back and do well at the next ones, particularly in the south.
Yeah. Okay. What are you and your political journalists thinking about the fact that Burnham he was mayor of Manchester? He tried to get into Gorton and Denton. He's tried to get into Makerfield. I think the total number is around £5 million it's costing the taxpayer for all of these by-elections. Now he's won Makerfield. We're going to have to have a by-election for Manchester mayor, which has got to happen by August the 6th, I think, by law. That's got to have started. I think across the country, people are a bit annoyed, and they see Andy Burnham as he's just a career politician. He's doing this for himself. If he cared about Manchester that much, he wouldn't be trying to get back into being an MP. But what are your political journalists all saying about this?
Yeah, I think most would agree that it's not political journalists; it's what the public think, and as you've alluded to, it's the money. He's in it for himself. It's a stepping stone to number 10. That's what he really wants. And to hell with everyone else and the taxpayers' money that's being used for all this. And that's one of Keir Starmer's tactics. Actually, he's kind of dropping it out there that now Burnham's won Makerfield, he's got to help in the fight to secure a Labour mayor for Manchester to replace him. And that will kind of tie him up a bit rather than focusing on ousting Starmer. It would tie him up a bit. So that's a little tactic used by Starmer. But I don't think the public are too happy with it. And especially now, if there's a long drawn out Labour leadership contest over the summer, lots of infighting. People just want someone to run the country competently and just get on with the job.
And for you, that is Andy Burnham?
You
think Andy Burnham is the man to run this country?
I think...
If we had in front of us now, Kemi Badenoch, Andy Burnham, Keir Starmer and Nigel Farage, which one of those four? You've got to pick one. Don't try and worm out of this one, Martyn. Which one of those four do you think is the competent leader this country needs right now?
Kemi Badenoch. I think she's a very good leader. But whether she'll get the opportunity, I don't think so. Not now. Yeah. But out of the two, Burnham, I think we're going to be looking at potentially a new Prime Minister next week now. I think it could happen that quick. For a long time, I've been thinking that it's going to be long drawn out, but I think he's got to go quickly. I think he's got to go quickly.
That surprises me. A new Prime Minister as quickly as next week, whilst the heat wave is still here. Martyn Brown, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed that episode of Daily Expresso. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below. Who do you think is the right person to lead this country? And don't forget to hit that hype button. Bye-bye. Right, a quick pause in the podcast to tell you about our sponsor, Incogni. You had those phone calls from numbers you don't recognise, or you go in your inbox and there's emails for stuff you did not sign up for. Well, that's because someone somewhere is selling your private information. That's where today's sponsor comes in, Incogni. They will contact these people who have been taking your information and they'll say, oi, stop, delete it. Go to the website, incogni.com, you type in the details, 2 minutes later, Incogni are sorting it out for you automatically. And because I love you, I've got you a discount. It ain't 10%, it ain't 20, 60% off. 60% off an annual Incogni plan. Just go to incogni.com/Daily Expresso or click the link in the episode description box below.